All right.
Do you have any status update on Teron Armstead's injury?
I don't. He didn't get any cue as far as how serious it would be. So we'll find out more tomorrow. Same with Austin. Not that I was aware of. No, that was a injury that, regardless of the score, was going to keep him out for the game.
Okay, I don't know if but last aspect, were you guys scramble a little?
No, we were struggling to a degree. I think I would have that part in that as much as anybody really. There was some play calling decisions that I definitely learned from. I put some guys in some unfair situations. Was way too aggressive, and it was something that I told the team after the game that I'll definitely learn from, because it wasn't fair to them. And when you do have some lineup changes, you can't play the way that or put them in positions they were being put in. So I don't think that was a fair representation of the group in general. Even if there was some lineup changes, they were able to tee off, and we had an established run game, and it kind of put the tackles in some real tough situations. And so something that it will all get better from it. And the good thing about this group of players in that locker room is they'll hear me say that I need to get better in that situation, not put those guys in the situation again. But the players will take the accountability as well and know that they can work on their techniques to make sure that if I had a stroke and did it again, that they'd perform better.
Mike, just overall, what's the feeling of going into December football knowing that everything you want to accomplish is in front of you?
There is nothing better in professional football than meaningful December and January games. Nothing better. I'm very excited for our young team and a lot of guys to feel that for the first time. I think it was important that guys looked at this game through the lens of establishing a good position for that competitive playoff run. We got 6 games left, and that you have to learn on the job, live, and the more that we bring intensity and focus to each and every game, knowing that they're all going to count for whether or not we're able to be in the playoffs, whether or not we're able to have home games, all of those things that you want as a team. You have to earn it down this stretch. So this is as fun as it gets. I'm really juiced for the guys. We have a team that's very, very tight, that is very ambitious, and that is willing to work for it, and that's all you could ask. So very happy with that, and you just wish we could have times the first half by 2 as opposed to dividing it by 0.
Coach, you mentioned accountability. Over the bye week, Jason Sanders, very critical of his own performance this year. He comes in today, perfect on field goals, on PATs. What could you say about that accountability and his performance?
That is the coolest thing in sports, is when I guess the second coolest thing in sports, because I just said the coolest thing was, right? So the second coolest thing in sports is overcoming adversity. And like I said last week, I fully expected that. He's given me no reason to think otherwise, but it is to his credit that is not always the case at that position. It's such a finicky, off a quarter of an inch with your strike or with your plant foot or anything, and you find it tough to get it through the upright. So that's very meaningful, and I think he just reiterated and reestablished the respect he already had in the locker room. Everybody had that expectation. No one really even thought twice. I know I didn't hang on the field goal. I was on the field goals when we were attempting them. I fully expected him to drill them, and he did. So happy with that. Happy for him.
Mike, we heard that you showed a 700-play highlight reel as part of, I guess, your introduction to him, or
Who are you talking to? Who's your source?
Broadcast.
Can you talk to us about that, the process of putting that together, and what made you want to do that for him?
You try and put yourself in other people's shoes as best you can. I think that's an important component to being a head coach. And, no one really – I think it's hard for people to truly wrap their head around what it is to be a quarterback in the National Football League in terms of you talk about as much pressure as one could ever have. You have all these teammates depending on you to do the right thing on every play. People are trying to tackle you full speed while you're making split-second decisions, and you're in charge of making sure that our plus-minus turnover ratio is right. That is a hard job. Not to mention, this just in, anybody that's drafted as a quarterback in the top 10, top 5, they want to be good. They want to be good with I would not want to trade places or wish any sort of anybody really to be drafted super high and then fall short of the franchise's expectations. That is a tough place to live in, and that was the motivating factor behind everything. Is you acknowledging that, understanding that, wow, it's hard enough to play an opponent. I better make sure, there's a lot of things that are telling me that this player may not have the confidence that he should. So instead of getting mad at that or doing anything, it was incredibly important that anybody that would listen would be able to see from a starting point, not just watch the FaceTime where I'm like, yeah, you're going to be a great player, to actually know. And it was easy. He had the stuff on the tape, and I think that's a credit to him. And he's to his credit, he's really listened, taken the coaching that he's good, said, okay, coach, I believe you. And I think you guys have seen the residuals up close and personal for a while.
To follow up quickly, were you aware, or at what point were you aware that his confidence had dropped that low from that season?
This was not going off of straight fact. This was just using intuition that getting beat up and having your existence be completely tainted by people saying that you aren't X, Y, or Z. And then on top of that, from my vantage point, I felt like he was put behind the 8 ball in a way with, his strengths he couldn't play to. And so if you're not able to play to your strengths in your position that one of the reasons you've gotten there is you're an unbelievable point guard. I felt, how could he, with all the things going on and all the, it's a lot of loud noise that you try to ignore, but people are human. So it was intuition, and it started, seeing him every practice once he started getting, a little bit more confidence each and every day. You could see his personality evolve, and that's when I learned kind of how deep it was, because I'm learning his personality. The first day I meet him is who I know him as, and then you fast forward a month and a half, and he's a different guy. Then retroactively, you're like, wow, that was real. And it's not like he admitted it either to me at the time, live speed. This is something that I think he just, all he did was just come to work, buy in, listen, and then do what he could control instead of worrying about any of it. He chopped wood, got with Coach Bevel and Chandler Henley, and they've not done anything but tried to work on technique, fundamentals, and how to play the position at an elite level, and they've done an outstanding job with that, and henceforth we're 8-0 with him. Or I guess he didn't finish the game, but you guys get it. He wins a lot. I think it means a lot because it wasn't just handed to us, it's earned. And I think in the process, the 5 wins that we've had in a row, or the month that we've won, it means a lot because I know it wasn't gifted to anyone, and that they did things the right way, and that shapes the way you do things moving forward. We found different ways after the three-game losing streak that we identified, looked ourselves in the mirror, and were very candid about how can we correct, really challenged the leaders of the team, the captains and the leadership council, and those guys have really taken it and ran with it, as well as the coaching staff. We knew we had higher expectations than what was happening to us in the 3-game losing streak, and thought we should have a better record. So instead of, well, if, but, or when, no, you take those experiences and you do something about it. And that's what I'm happy about, is that every single win was through blood, sweat, and hopefully not too many tears. But there may have been, and you know what? I have a low, small shoulder that people can cry on, so I'm good for many things.
Mike, going back to your old stomping grounds in San Francisco, how long will you enjoy this one before you turn the page to a team you're very familiar with?
I mean, I'm just trying to. Can I get a day? I try not to. You do not want to take anything for granted in this league, and you get a win. It does not matter. Every team is trying tooth and nail to beat you, and you can get delusional in the wrong way if you just move past it. For me, I'll worry about our next opponent tomorrow, and that's who it will be, is our next opponent. Everybody has, or a lot of people have teeth in this league. You go a bunch of different places, but I promise you that next week will not be about me. I refuse for